Good morning. I'm getting ready to leave again. The bike's loaded and ready to go. And I'm just having my breakfast in the camp kitchen. The camp kitchen's got a fridge over there, which I've kept my stuff in overnight. It's got some places to prepare stuff around the corner with some electric sockets, so that's where I'm charging my gear. There's a place to do some washing up. And breakfast today consisted of coffee in some milk and shaken. That's my cold coffee for the morning. Some tomatoes and leftover feta. In there we had some bread, that's gone now. A couple of oranges. And there's a couple of bananas in that bag, but I'll eat them in a bit. Weather today is going to be clear, warm, but a little bit cooler than it was yesterday. About 60 kilometres to go today until I cycle to Kalamata. So I will speak to you in a bit. Finally got on the road, just gone 9:30. Could have been gone a bit earlier, but the guy at the reception hadn't turned up. And a bit of a rookie error on my part, really. 99 times out of 100 I always pay the night before so that I could just leave in the morning without any delays. Obviously this was the one time I didn't do that. Still, it's a short day on to Kalamata now. This road should lead me towards Koroni Castle. Koroni Castle, along with Mathoni Castle, were known as the Eyes of Venice because of their position on the coast. So they had a good lookout, and this is when the Venetians were in control of this part of the Peloponnese. Not sure if I'm going to go to Koroni Castle today. The reason being is that it would involve a little bit of backtracking, probably adding an extra 20 kilometres onto the day. But I'll see how I feel when I get there. In the meantime, looks like we've got a slightly overcast day. There was spots of rain overnight, which I probably mentioned earlier. And the temperatures are quite pleasant at the minute, so even if it does spot with rain today, we'll almost be welcome, I think. Expecting a few rolling hills and then to follow the coastline along to Kalamata. Actually, that hill in front looks a little bit more than rolling, but we'll see what happens. So basically where you see that coastline, that's where I've come up from. Not sure of the altitude, it's not very high, it's probably like 100 metres or something like that. But you can probably see this big stretch of sand there. And that's why I think it's one of the best beaches in Greece, because it's just sandy, it's nice, and not a lot of people visit it. Obviously, there's a lot of people in August, of course. So visiting it in May or June is probably the best time. Okay, got two signposts in front of me. One says left Kalamata 58, and the other one, which perhaps you can't quite work out, says Kalamata straight on 65. I think I'm going to take that one in the hope that although it's slightly longer at 7 kilometres, there is going to be less uphill. I guess whatever I choose has probably got its upsides and its downsides, but I think by choosing this route, maybe I'm going to be closer to the sea at times. So I'm going to go for that slightly longer route and take it from there. About an hour into the journey so far, and it's been literally all uphill. So if this was the less uphill version than the other route, I dread to think what it would have been like. I guess that I've got about another probably half an hour of uphill, and then it should go down to the coast from there. The sweat's pouring off me at the minute because of the humidity as well. Still, there's not much traffic apart from these two vehicles about to go behind me now. You see that? And that one there. So this is quite a popular area for Northern Europeans to come to. There's a lot of Germans and Dutch down at the campsite already. And they kind of come over for the summer, and their version of summer was probably sometime after Easter. And then probably, some of them will stay through till August, but some will go home in August when the weather's warm enough in their own countries. You get quite a lot of those. They're all kind of in their 60s, and I guess they're retired, and this is how they spend their summers and their lives, which is very nice for some. Anyway, for me, it's all about bicycles right now, so I'm going to cycle back up that hill. Speak in a bit. Looks like the start of a descent now. That'd be nice if there was somewhere to pull over on the side. Might have a snack and just enjoy the view for a bit. There's a nice little lay-by here. So I think I'll soak up this view, have a banana and some water, and then carry on down the road, which is going that way. I'm back down at almost sea level now. And although the signpost says it's Koroni is this way, I believe that I turn off before Koroni and then head to Kalamata. But as always, we'll see. Oh, there's the sea there, look. That's a turn in for Koroni. So like I said, on this occasion I'm going to miss that out. It's one of those things, the Peloponnese looks relatively compact on a map. It's only when you're here and you're trying to see stuff, especially on a bicycle, you realise how much time you need. I have been to this castle before though, and if I remember, I'll put a little information card at the top of the screen. Should be your top right hand screen, top of the screen, and that links to information about Koroni and Mathoni castles. So for me, I'm carrying on cycling to Kalamata, and I've just had an email come through saying I've been invited on a trip to Nepal, which is awesome news. So I can't wait to get to Kalamata and see what that's all about. Speaking a bit. So I just stopped for a coffee and a Doropida at a bakery, and I spent about 3/4 of an hour there trying to sort out this email that I had about Nepal, along with a bunch of other things. Excuse me. So what I'm going to need to do now is I've got a hotel booked about 20 kilometers from here, and I need to check in there and sort a whole bunch of things out now. Just one of those things when you're trying to do when you're trying to work and you're trying to do a bike tour, sometimes you just have to be a bit more flexible. So I've got about 20 kilometers to go. I'm staying in a small village called Petalidi, I think it is, where I've got a hotel booked. And once I'm there, I'm going to do a bit of work, plot my route to get back to Athens for the 6th, and that's about it. Speaking of it, about 5 kilometers now from my destination. Passed through some lovely villages on the way. Everything's really quiet now because it's still just it's the last day of April. I imagine this is heaving in July and August. I mean, my choice would be to avoid it then. But right now the weather's lovely. Somebody said the temperature got to 35 degrees yesterday. Didn't think it was that hot myself, but who am I to question them? And people are swimming. Probably a touch cold to be swimming for me. So that's the end of the day's ride, and as I mentioned, I had to cut the ride a little bit short of Kalamata, about 10 kilometers short I think, and dive into a hotel place. And I've picked this place up for 35 euros a night, and basically I'm the only person here. I'll take you inside. It's got a little kitchen area so I can cook for myself, of which I've already started. I think eating's one of my favourite pastimes on a bike tour. It's got the fridge freezer there. There's a single bed there, but that's not what I'll be using. There's another bedroom. There's a bathroom which is small, but that's quite handy. I'm going to use that to wash my clothes in a bit later on. Bedroom with a double bed, and there's a TV, which I almost never watch TV when I'm travelling. Well, almost never watch TV. And a little balcony area, which is nice and shaded. There's the road there, and just over that hedgerow is the sea. Let me turn you around and I'll finish talking. So I cut the day a bit shorter, and I'm here in a small village 10 kilometers short of Kalamata. And now I need just to get on with some work today, which is to sort out this Nepal trip, which is awesome by the way, and do a few other things as well. I also need to plan out my route, as it looks like I'm not going to be able to cycle through the Mani Peninsula. So I may need to think about where I'm going and how I'm going to get back to Athens for the 6th of May. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers for now.